Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second call. I'm so excited. We have a little itty bitty group today. We've had a few apologies, and that's what life happens, and that's why we hit record. So let me share my screen. Today, we are going to be working on our mind. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Fantastic, because good job, I can too. Bring it on. Okay, because my mind might not be working at 9 p.m. at night. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so here's a couple of, I don't know if you can you see that? I can't even see that. It's behind the screen. Okay, so there's two cute quotes that I picked up. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. There you go. So I think we were average minds before, just talking about events of the day, and soon we'll be great minds because we'll be talking about different ideas, which is kind of good. And I thought, Bob Marley, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds, and that's the truth. Don't you think? Like, you have to save yourself from your own thoughts, I reckon.
You do.
Separate them and learn to separate them. And in line with that, at the moment I'm reading this book. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Has anyone read it?
No.
So what I'm thinking is that maybe next month in the group that this will be book club book, and we might sort of dive in. I'll do a bit of, for Liz, she doesn't know, but in the Facebook group every now and then I choose a book and I'll read it to you. Call it story time with Jay, and then we talk about the ideas that come up in the book. And the main thing is I'm still only halfway through it, but the main thing is that there is us, there is our thoughts, and there are our emotions, and they're completely separate. And when you learn, that they are separate, and that the you inside your body is you looking at those thoughts, all of a sudden the world changes, and it's quite free. It's quite freeing. And somebody has written this cute slide that basically says there's 20 conscious themes in the book, including energy, witnessing, consciousness, openness, heart, liberation, centeredness, growth, letting go, and transcendence. It's quite an interesting book, and I've been listening to it on audio, and I find his voice a little bit distracting. So sometimes I'm like, no. So I bought the book so that I can actually read it, because some of the things I'm like, what did you say? And I rewind and I don't quite get it. So I thought it might be a good idea to discuss this book. And I know that it's one of those books in the spirituality realm that people always recommend. Oh, have you read The Untethered Soul? And I think he's just written a new one that's sort of the 20 years on kind of thing, and his thoughts now. So what do you think? Think that'd be a good idea? Yeah, why not do something different? A few months ago we did the 4 agreements, which was amazing. And how the group started, just for a little bit of background for Liz, that it was that I found the magic by, the people who wrote The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and I started the group based on that, and we did the practices of the magic as a group. And and in fact, we've done that twice in the group. Like, we went through it twice because it was so powerful, the gratitude practices and the manifestation and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And so that was why we started the group. And then people said to me, I just missed story time with Jay. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll think of another book and we'll go through it. And I would like to go back and really study this book. So I'll use it as an excuse for me. All right. So that was that. So the other book that's really profoundly impacted me in my life in terms of my mind is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, who also has quite an annoying voice. No offense, Eckhart, but he does have a kind of annoying voice. I think he's German or something.
That is annoying, yeah.
And he sounds so, it's sort of angry and weird. Anyway, so I find it a little distracting. But if you can get through that book, The Power of Now, oh my God, it's so good. It's so profound. But the concepts really are the main takeaway of that is that we only have one now. You know, the things in the past have been and gone. Sure, they influence us. They influence how, you know, how we react to the now, but it's gone. It's history. It's past. And the future is unwritten. So if we think about living in the future, not planning, but if we're living in the future by thinking about all the things we have to do, we miss out on the gloriousness of this particular moment. And ever since I've been sort of trying to practice that, sometimes I'm not very good at it, but you know, like if you really practice living in this moment, it can make a profound difference to your life, you know, a really profound difference to your life. And your stress levels, which makes a huge difference. And I was talking to a Reiki client yesterday, and he was so worried about what had gone before and what was coming. And I, you know, and I put it to him, you know, what about right now? You're missing out on right now. And it was like a light bulb went off in his head. No one had ever said that to him before, you know, and he was like, wow, actually that's true. And I think we you know, we have to do this, we have to do that. And that's where worry comes from, is thinking about all of the things that could be, would be, might be. And really, right now is just perfect. You know, we're all together. It doesn't matter who's here. You know, this is what the universe wanted us to be together right now, to get these messages and share this time, you know, and it couldn't be any more perfect, I have to say. So, you know, I think that's something that I would really encourage you to try to be. And our meditation tonight has that focus of being in the now, and little tricks to improve the now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's get out our journals. I've got a few questions always, and we'll just spend 5 minutes on this. Sometimes when you are living in the future, it's good to do like a worry audit. And so I want you to write down what you're worried about right now. I mean, not right in this moment, but, you know, in your life at the moment. Are you worried about money in the bank? Are you worried about this, that, or the other? Just clear some space in your brain by writing it down and letting it go, putting it on the paper. I hope you can't hear the boys out there. They're very loud. Can you hear them?
Yeah.
You can?
I just heard a little bit, but nothing.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing a meditation, you guys. We've got a house guest, and he's just made us dinner. So,
Oh, how nice.
I know, how good. People don't do that when they come to live. Anyway, stopping talking. I'm putting on music so you can have thinking. Look up when you've written what you're worried about. Fantastic. Okay, so thinking about where, you know, past, present, and future, where do you find yourself spending most of your time? Do you look backwards? Do you look forwards? Or are you in the now?
A bit of both, as in the now and then forward in the
Yeah.
future, but only in the distant, small future.
And I think when you read this book, there's some really profound take homes about, you know, being present in the future. So say you're thinking about the future, you make a conscious decision to plan for the future. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do some planning for the future. And so therefore you're fully present in that process rather than just thinking about it and da-da-da-da. So it's amazing book. Anyway, so just write that down. You know, where do you live? In the past, present, or future? And moving forward, I want you to try to just keep that in your mind. So when thoughts come in, and say you're thinking about something that happened in the past, is it something that you're connected to, and something that you're that influences your day to day, or is it just something you thought about as a memory, that's very transient, that it hasn't really affected your behavior, or are you repeating a pattern? So sometimes when people live in the past, they're repeating something that they've done over and over again, and they're expecting a different result. And for me, it's eating chocolate and expecting to lose weight. Just saying. So that's a bad pattern. I'm living in the past there. All right. The final one is have a think about your life, and just think about the types of tasks you do automatically. So in a day, what do you do automatically? I'll give you an example. Brushing your teeth. You pretty much do that automatically, don't you?
Yep.
You've done it every day of your life, twice a day or once a day or however many times a day, but you don't really think about it. So what things in your day that you do automatically could you do more mindfully? So could you brush your teeth with more presence? Could you think about, being kind to yourself, the brush, cleaning? It's like a mini meditation. So just think about the things that you do a little bit automatically throughout the day that you could bring a bit more mindfulness into. And then on the other side of the coin, have a think about your life, and what things do you do with pure presence? And this is quite a confronting question, especially for me, because I'm a do go be the queen of the multitask. Not so much anymore, but where in your life are you truly present? It should be when you're cuddling up with your partner, or when someone's talking to you or whatever. Where are the times when you're fully present? And remember, as always, no judgment. We're just shining a light on some things. Okay. Now, and finally, is there any area where you would like to be more present? So if you've identified, an area that you weren't, or that you'd like to do something with more presence. And you can create a ritual around that to bring yourself into the moment. I do that in the morning in the shower, because the shower can be very automatic, but I make that part of my morning ritual. I do my, I say my Reiki principles, and I really lean into that. I'm mindful of the water washing over me. I really make a bit of a thing about cleansing my face and my body, and try to set myself up for the day. So I try to be really present when I'm in the shower. And I know that's a silly thing, but it just brings you back into that and sets you up for the day, so that's just a little example. Because I think when you live a more present life, you definitely are a happier being, for sure. All right. So now okay. So then I'm going to talk about active listening. So this is something that you may have heard about in professional development courses, and in classes that you've done over the years, maybe. But this is how you bring presence into having a conversation. And I don't know about you, but have you ever been guilty of, and you don't have to admit it, but where you're having a conversation with someone and you may think about something else because they're boring, sorry, or no, maybe not boring, but you've got such a lot going on in your own mind. Or sometimes you might, I know when I was a lot younger, I would be trying to help somebody, and so I wasn't listening, or as I was listening, I was kind of putting ideas into my mind of how I could respond to that, rather than actually being present and listening. And to actively listen to someone is very, very powerful, because it really shows how much you see that person and how much you care enough to actively take part in what they're saying to you. So this is just 10 quick things. So look at the person, make eye contact. And it's really interesting how many people do not make eye contact when they're having conversation with you. Listen to non-verbal cues. So watch their body language. Try not to interrupt, and try not to judge or, finish their sentences for them. I'm guilty of that sometimes in the daytime with my guys at work, and I just want to finish the come on, I've got so much to do, and I'm like, oh, this is not very nice. I just have to listen to them, and show, this is the one. Don't start planning what to say next. Like when she stops, I'm going to say this because this is going to be really helpful to her. Like that's not active listening. That's prejudging. Show that you're listening. Yes, that, I know that sounds so wanky, but like really show that you are listening, and don't impose your opinions or solutions necessarily unless they're asked for. So I might sort of say, oh, how about, do you want to hear what I think, or how about that? If you've got something useful, stay focused, ask questions, and then at the end you kind of say, oh, so I hear that you're, this is what you've said, and is that right? Did I understand you? Because that really validates what the person has said. Makes a big difference. Can you think of a time when full well that somebody's not listening to you and they should be?
Well, that's actually what happens a lot.
It does.
Especially when you're on the phone with somebody, if you call a company, the receptionists, they don't listen to what you are saying.
It's very.
And then they ask again, and they ask, "What's your name?" Well, you just mentioned your name, and I really, get sometimes irritated by that, and about your story that you have to repeat it all the time, and then I get irritated and say, "You're not listening. You sound like a answering machine." They don't. They do. The majority do, because they have been taught only one thing, without listening to the client, what they actually want. But that's all they know, because they know that's only what they can answer, because they don't broaden their horizons. Absolutely.
It's true, isn't it? Like that's such a good example, because that's automatic living. The receptionist, she knows what they're doing. They just, when you deviate from what they're expecting to hear, they break the routine. But can you think of a time when you've been guilty of not listening properly to somebody who's talking to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's probably a good plan to try. I mean, can't live perfect lives, but it just shows a difference. And I think when you do start really listening, the relationship improves, because actually the quality is there, rather than, it doesn't have to be quantity, but it has to be. And for somebody to feel validated and heard is such a good gift that you can give another human, and that behavior can then model to others to do the same to you, not to monopolize the whole conversation, or what have you. I think it's a really nice thing that you can do for another soul. All right, so I think now we're going to share. So, and then we were just finishing off. This is off before, and then I'll just put it back on the thing. So I really like this graphic: mindful or mindful. And, you know, basically you can be walking around with your mind full and basically miss everything that's going on, or you can be present in the moment. And this little circle thing explains what mindfulness is. So it's an awareness of what's going on, and then an acceptance of what's going on, and being in the present moment. And that's when, you know, it's very trendy to be mindful right now. Like everybody's, you know, let's do mindfulness and all that. But it's actually such a powerful tool to be mindful, and bringing those, it's almost like mini meditation. It's so good for your mental health to be in the moment. So I think I've harped on enough about that. So let's go back. And I want us to, we're going to do an active listening. Here we are. I'm just going to make us all even. Hi. So we won't go in the breakout room if you like. And you two can just do it. And I'm just going to actively listen to all of you. So you can tell a story about any old thing. It doesn't even matter. And I don't want to put you on the spot. If you feel embarrassed, I can send you into the breakout room. So it's not on the video. Would you prefer that?
I'm not really fussed, but I don't know what to say.
I know, that's the worst part of really, like, literally. No, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you into the breakout room, and I'm going to pause the video, and you guys can go and have 15, well, maybe we'll do 10 now because we've gone a little bit over. So we'll do 10 minutes, 5 minutes each, and you can just actively listen to each other. You can just talk about anything. Probably good, because then you're not feeling self-conscious of being on the video. All right, so how do I do it again?
So where do we have to talk about? Just about anything?
Yeah, but so say you go first, Astrid. Oh, it doesn't matter who goes first, but you know, if you're talking, Astrid, then Liz is going to actively listen to you. So act when you're doing it, Liz. Just think to yourself, am I really listening, or am I making up what I'm going to talk to her about? Just really focus on her, eye contact, hear the story, you know, all those things that we just talked about. It's going to be so silly. All right.
I need a topic, Jay.
It can be just what you did on the weekend even. Or maybe a problem that you're having at the moment, like something that you want another person's opinion on, you know, or just something like that. I think don't overthink it. You're just practicing listening to each other. And then don't forget at the end of that to just summarize and say, I hear you. This is what you've said.
Okay.
It's so silly. All right. So you're going to get 10 minutes and then come on back. So I'll put 10 minutes on I don't even know how to do it. So look, 10 minutes, go. Has it come up? Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video for those people at home with much love, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. We just wait for them to return. Meanwhile, I'll enjoy this very moment. Welcome back.
Cool. That was you could have continued on.
What was it?
Well,
That would have been great with a beer.
Yeah.
Are you still talking about what you're talking about?
Well, Astrid spoke and then I asked questions and then we just continued on with those questions.
Oh, so you forgot to have a turn.
Yes, but that's okay. We were having a great chat.
I know this thing about Liz because I went for a cup of coffee with her the other day and we moved venue because the place shut. And then I looked down at my watch and I said, oh my God, we've been here for 2.5
No,
hours.
it was 3.5.
I know,
Oh,
like extra from the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't believe that happened that day. Like,
I know.
what? How did that? I don't even know. So I do understand, Astrid. Okay.
but we did listen actively to each other, so that was
Yes, we
good.
did.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, that's something now that we've kind of reminded ourselves about the active listening, it might be something that you bring, into your daily life. And
But it's true, because sometimes we don't listen actively and we don't hear all the time what somebody says. And then we have to repeat ourselves again from, oh, what was this and that?
Exactly.
Because we lose track, because we go into our own mind.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do our meditation. Are you happy to just dwindle off like last time, or would you like to come dwindle off? All right. So we'll
I dwindled off last time, as usual.
I love it. When I first met Astrid in this sort of space, I've known Astrid for like a million years, but not that because we look so young and glorious. But yeah, she couldn't meditate at all, could you?
Oh, wow.
And you really have come so far.
Well, even you've got a really good voice for it too. And I did hear you, and then you just left. And I thought, I have to wake up. I have to wake up. No, don't wake. It's not. Wake up. Wake up. No, don't wake. And then suddenly I thought, I have to wake up. It's 9:45. So half an hour after you left, I was still on my bedroom, on my treatment table.
Okay.
Sorry, the way I hurt myself.
So good. All right. So I will say thank you. And then so get comfy, do all your thing, turn off your screens, and then I will do the same. So we'll stop the video but not the voice. And then you can just chill, and I'm just going to give a pause so that when because I separate the thing so you can have as an MP3 or whatever. Okay. Oh, I best mute you all. Wait, I muted myself.
What was happening?
Already.
When people listen, they're going to think, what the hell? But you know what, people? If you are watching this video and hear this, you are going to laugh because, you miss out on all this joyousness. And I'm like, I can still hear the rustling. Why can I still hear the rustling? And I'm like, oh my God, I turned my mic off. What is All right, I'm muting you now. Lots of love.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh dear, honestly. All right. Hello, precious one. It's that time again. It's time for you. Take a moment to get comfy, whichever way you feel is right for you today. Laying, sitting, doesn't matter. Gently lower your eyes to close. Notice what it feels like to stop. How do you feel? Just notice and take a moment to acknowledge that you are here and willing to show up for yourself to show yourself deep care in this beautiful moment. Notice your breath, that you are breathing now. No need to change it in any way. Just notice and follow it in and follow it out in your own perfect rhythm. Notice where you feel the sensation of the breath. Perhaps you feel the temperature of the gentle airflow. Perhaps you feel the gentle expansion of the chest and ribs, followed by the contraction again. Simply follow this breath for a moment. Notice any thoughts that enter your mind. It's okay for them to be there, but in this moment, see if you can allow the thoughts to pass through your mind like sand through an hourglass. Simply allow them to pass without clinging to any one thought, without rejecting or judging yourself for having them. Now bring your awareness to your right hand. Notice each finger of the right hand. And very slowly, I want you to touch your thumb to your index finger, then the thumb to the middle finger, the thumb to the fourth finger, the thumb to the pinky finger, back to the fourth finger, to the middle, to the index, and then relax your hand. Relax all of the fingers. Now notice the left hand. Notice each finger of the left hand and gently touch the left thumb to the index finger, to the middle finger, thumb to the fourth finger, thumb to the pinky, back to the fourth, then to the middle and the index, and relax the hand once more. Relax the fingers. Bring your awareness to the sensations that you're feeling within your body. Are you warm, cool, tingling, tight, pulsing, relaxed, hungry, tense, or whatever? Just notice what's happening. Notice all with love, kindness, and patience. Every day, every moment, we are thinking, processing and evaluating, planning for the very next moment. Each thought can be tied to a feeling. Now it's time to relax, to let go, and just become more aware. Follow along with my voice and with love and light, and let me gently guide you to an alternative. Should you need, return to the breath. Let's welcome and acknowledge our feelings and emotions that reside within us this very moment. Without judgment or trying to change anything, simply view them as if we were looking in from above. What do you feel? As you gently breathe in and breathe out, acknowledge these feelings with just awareness, love, and light. And in this deep state of relaxation, consider if you feel any residual tension, acknowledge it, and then imagine the opposite. Replace the tension with a warm, nurturing sense of relaxation. Send love and light to any remaining spots that are tight, sore, or that your awareness goes to. And feel how the area now feels light and soft and warm. Notice if you feel any fear. Or are you fearful of any current situation in your life? As I say the word fear, does it trigger any emotion for you? Think about that for a moment. And where in your body does the fear live? For some, it's the solar plexus, others the throat. Where does it live for you? How does it show up? Do you feel tight, heavy, or anxious? Feel this feeling for a moment, and then acknowledge and replace it with a strong sense of courage and knowingness. You've got this. Consider the word failure. Where does that show up for you? Does a specific instance come flooding into your mind when you felt like a failure or when you failed at something? Acknowledge it, thank it, and replace it with gratitude for the opportunity to learn and grow. Think about the lessons learnt and how the path changed for the better. You're doing so well. You're feeling, you're acknowledging, you're letting go, and you're replacing. Let's think about shyness. Do you ever feel too shy to try? To put yourself out there when it would be easier to stay hidden than visible? Thinking about this, acknowledge these feelings, and where do you feel them in your body? Let it go. Replace it with feelings of confidence, assuredness, and pride in you. Because, precious one, I'm here to tell you that you are unique and are worthy sharing your gifts with this world. Shame. What do you feel when I say this word? Where does it show up? Acknowledge it, let it go, and replace with forgiveness, kindness, and a sense of calm and peace in doing so. Accept whatever it was, learn from it, and let it go. Now think of gratitude. It always makes me smile when I think of the word gratitude. Feel it in your body, as if it was being poured over you like water under a soothing shower. Feel it in every cell of your being. Gratitude warming you and reminding you that life is a blessing and that you too are a blessing. Every day you have choices to make, and your mind is strong and powerful to make choices that lead you to a positive, rewarding, joyful life full of whatever you want it to be. You get to choose how you react, respond, forgive, let go, and be grateful for in that moment. Gratitude leads to more. It's as simple as that. Allow the gratitude to wash over you for just a little longer. Feel how it feels. As we take a moment to rest in this glorious gratitude bath, notice anything that comes up for you. Do you see anything? Remember anything? A situation or a scene not played out yet? And just allow more gratitude to wash over you. As you gently breathe in and breathe out, just simply be. We are human beings, not human doings. We are all perfectly imperfect. We are exactly where we need to be in this moment, exactly how we should feel in this moment. Feel what you feel and know that this is just the perfect thing to feel in this perfect moment. And as this little journey comes to an end, come back to the now. Become aware of your breath once more. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Become aware of your surroundings, the room you're in, the sounds of the room. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. With so much love, until next time.